Hey everybody, Jim Cedar here. I'm in the Bolgheri region at Tenuta dell'Ornellaia estate with winemaker Axel Heinz. Thanks for having us here today. Some people may or may not know that you use Cabernet Franc in some of your wines here and use it very successfully. I think when a lot of people think about Cabernet Franc, probably the first thoughts are the right bank of the Bordeaux, those phenomenal Cabernet Franc Merlot blends, and also the Loire Valley that produces some 100% Cabernet Franc. But perhaps people are not quite as appreciative to what it brings to your wines here. So what is it that you like about the Cabernet Franc here? How does it do here in this terroir?
Well, we're about to discover that Bolgheri is certainly a place, one of the few places in the world where Cabernet Franc expresses its full potential. It's a beautiful grape variety, a quite tricky one, I have to say. So it's not the reason why it is not more popular than one could think is that people are well aware that if you have the right soils, the right climate, and the right vintage, you can make absolutely sublime wines with Cabernet Franc. But as soon as conditions are not textbook perfect, can be very tricky to produce even a decent wine with this grape variety. What we have found out in recent years is that definitely there are spots in Bolgheri that are capable of producing, we believe, Cabernet Franc of the highest level that can, without any doubt, compete with the great versions of the right bank. Beyond the fact that it's a very suitable area for Cabernet Franc, it's the very qualities of the grape variety that interest us. One could, in a very simplistic way, describe it as a sort of way in between Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon. It has obviously a lot of aromatic similarities with Cabernet Franc, that sort of, blackberry fruit, can lean towards excessive herbaceousness, just as Cabernet Sauvignon, possibly even more so. So that's one of its limits. But ideally, if it's fully ripe, it has this vibrant fruit, a little bit more floral, a little bit more complex even than Cabernet Sauvignon. At the same time, it's a little bit less tannic, and it shares a little bit of that roundness of Merlot. So it makes wines that, even when they're concentrated, always have a delicacy and a vibrancy and an aromatic quality to them that is particularly interesting. What is even more interesting for us in Bolgheri is that it maintains all of its qualities even in the hottest vintage, where sometimes Merlot can be problematic. So it's a very nice addition because you'll always have that touch of complexity and of vibrancy if you have a certain amount of Cabernet Franc in your blend.
It sounds like something that, while I know that the yields are on the smaller side here, that it's something you can use to titrate these wines depending upon the year and depending upon how you want to add a little bit of spice or a little bit of vibrancy just from vintage to vintage.
Sure. We're a little bit limited by the fact that we have only about 12% of our vineyard surface dedicated to Cabernet Franc, so it's difficult for us to go beyond 20% in a blend of Ornellaia, for instance. But certainly it is a very useful component. I think it's a wine that fits very well into the identity of this place. It's at the same time delicate and rich, delicate and intense. So I feel it corresponds very well to the sort of character of the wine of Ornellaia.
Oh, thanks for offering that insight here. Appreciate it.